So yeah, WWDC was like 3 weeks ago already at this point, but I don't care. It's given me some time to think about it and also procrastinate on how I'm going to make an interesting video about something that 5,000 other YouTubers already talked about. So I didn't just want to, give a list of everything they announced, because if I did, you probably wouldn't be here watching this right now. So yeah, Apple did announce some Mac stuff and the big new Apple Vision Pro that everyone's talking about. But I wanted to step back from that a little bit and just think about software for a little bit more specifically iOS 17. One thing I've realized after hearing them talk about it is that they seem to have two main focuses in iOS 17, those being AI and then ecosystem stuff. Ecosystem both in the sense of my own devices working together, but also my stuff working really well with my friends who have Apple products. Just the integration and features and stuff to make that such a nice and seamless experience. Now, Apple did announce a lot of features that are kind of using AI, but weirdly, I don't think they ever actually said AI, in strong contrast to Google, who in their I/O event a couple of months ago said AI 143 times. Apple didn't say it at all. It seems like companies like Google like to just throw AI, the word AI, at anything they're doing that's even remotely close, whereas Apple likes to step back and use terms like using the neural engine or with on-device processing or something like that instead of actually saying AI. But one time they did specifically mention using language models is for the huge improvements to the keyboard in general, autocorrect, word predictions, dictation, all that seem to have gotten a lot better. It can predict whole words you're typing, and it can actually make sentence-level grammatical corrections, so no more your instead of yours and stuff like that. And if it makes a correction that you didn't want it to make, it's really easy to just tap on the underlined word and get it to go back, and then it will actually remember that. So if there's a word that you type that it doesn't think is a word, it's actually going to learn that. Dictation also apparently got some improvements, but I haven't really noticed any big improvements over iOS 16, where it was already pretty good. But it's still nice to see that they are making some improvements there. And speaking of voice processing, there's a really cool new feature in iOS 17 called live voicemails. So if you're, say, in a meeting and you get a call from someone and you're not quite sure, well, is it important enough to take this call or should I just let it go? It can actually, if you don't pick up right away, or you can send them straight to voicemail right away actually, but they will get a message saying that they're going to voicemail, but that the person they're calling might still pick up. And basically on your end, you'll see a live transcription of what they're saying. So using that, you can quickly tell if your mom's calling to ask how to turn the volume down on her phone, or if grandma's in the hospital or something. And then if it is important enough, you can pick it up and just keep on talking like normal. And if it's not important, you can just let it go, and once they're done with their message, they can hang up, and you'll still be able to listen to that as a normal voicemail later. Now, as far as I know, voicemails are actually handled by the carrier and on that end of things, so it seems like Apple would have to be working with them to get this feature working. And then plus the fact that live voicemails only work in English and in the US and Canada right now, that seems to support the fact that they're probably working with carriers to get this working. And then there were a few other AI features that weirdly they introduced in the iPadOS section of the keynote, and I'm just assuming that's to make the iPadOS portion longer to make it look more interesting, because iPadOS is kind of boring. But this feature is actually kind of cool, where it allows you to use a live photo as your wallpaper, and it, using AI apparently, will add frames in between so that it's kind of like a slow-mo animation of when you turn it on and swipe up to the home screen. It actually looks really good, and I'd love to use this, except I don't have any good live photos, because no one uses live photos because they're just annoying. But now they're actually good, and I have a bunch of like short video clips and stuff that I would actually use for this. So I wish Apple would make a native way to convert short video clips to live photos, because I have a lot of little videos and stuff that I would definitely use for that, but there's no way for me to do it. So I guess next time I just gotta remember to switch on live photos to take a couple pictures. And I think it actually looks pretty cool, but I can't really use it. I wish I could though. Apple's second big focus for this year seemed to be on the ecosystem, the Apple ecosystem that everyone talks about, right? And yeah, the term ecosystem normally talks to how if I have all the different devices, they're going to work together so well and all that. And while that definitely was a big part of iOS 17, they seem to put a lot of emphasis also on the integration and usefulness of using Apple products with other people that also have Apple products. And one of the first announcements regarding iOS 17 was actually called Contact Posters. So basically, in the Contacts app in your own contact card, you can make a little poster that basically would be the call screen for when you call people. That's what they're going to see, as long as you shared it with them, obviously. And you can also set up contact posters for everyone in your contacts, so when they call you, you'll see that. Or you can use, if they set one up and share it with you, you can use that one as well. Now, mostly this feature is just kind of fun to mess around with and makes iPhones a little nicer to use, but I think it could actually serve a little bit of a function where if you're calling someone for the first time, you can just share your poster and everything with them, so when it comes up, they can actually see your name. Just like when you go to text someone an iMessage the first time, you can share your name and photo with them. Now, when you're calling someone, hopefully you would be able to just share the contact poster. I don't actually know exactly how that works, but yeah, I'm hoping that's integrated with calling as well, along with iMessage. And something people have often touted as a reason to switch to Apple is because of AirDrop. And AirDrop is actually one of those features that really enhances the ecosystem in both terms of working really well between your own devices, but also with sharing stuff with your friends. And really, the main change is that to AirDrop stuff now, you just hold your phone right up to the other person's phone, and it'll start. And then if it's a larger file or a bunch of pictures or something, and it's taking longer, if you step outside of AirDrop range, it'll just finish over the internet, which is pretty cool. Functionally, it's not too much of a change, but I think it will just make it a little bit more intuitive and easy to use. And then another new feature that's kind of just an addition to AirDrop is called Name Drop, where basically, they're finally doing this, it's amazing that it took them this long, you can just hold your phone up to someone else's iPhone or actually Apple Watch to switch contact information, just your whole contact card. So gone are the days of having to say your name to someone as they type it into their phone, or putting your number into their phone or anything like that. Yeah, you just hold your phone up to theirs and it switches, and they can view and then save your entire contact card, and you can view and save theirs as long as they have an iPhone. So overall, even though iOS 17 might not have a bunch of, huge, big new features or the UI overhaul we were hearing about, I'm really hoping Apple can use this update to just kind of fix all the little bugs and weird inconsistencies that we've been seeing for the past couple updates. But yeah, it seems like Apple really is just doubling down on making the walls of this garden higher and higher, and it's nice in here, but it's just every year, every update just makes it harder to talk to the people on the other side. And speaking of Apple making it unnecessarily hard to talk to people on the Android side of things, one of the big things they've been doing, or more like not doing, is supporting RCS. So if you want to learn more about why green bubbles are actually all Apple's fault and why they refuse to fix it, check out this video right up here. And of course, feel free to like and subscribe.